my name is Hitesh Nagarset. I am from Annara. So last class we discussed about a topic from 9th standard, that is quadrilaterals. In quadrilateral we already discussed about what is meant by quadrilateral, angle sum property and types of quadrilateral. Also we discussed about theorem 8.1 and some of the problems based on theorem 8.1. So let us move on to the next topic, that is in the same properties of parallelogram. Here we have to move on to the next theorem, that is theorem 8.2. So that is theorem 8.2. Yes, so theorem 8.2 is one of the property of a parallelogram, that is the opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal. So already we know that the opposite sides of a parallelogram is already equal. We know from the 8th standard, so there is no any proof at all. So from the measurement we can take that one, and there is a proof here. So there is no any inclusion of theorem, proof of this theorem in your syllabus. That's why it is enough. It's a statement, and then you have to write the diagram, and then you have to write the result. So what is the statement here? The opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal. So this is the statement, and here it is the diagram you have. It is a parallelogram. So when we consider ABCD is a parallelogram. So then AB is equal to CD. So those two are opposite sides. ABC and CD, those two are opposite sides, and AD and BC are the another pair of opposite sides. Those two are also equal. That is AD is equal to BC. So these two opposite sides are equal here. So here we have to take the converse of this theorem. That means, so parallelogram is one of the quadrilateral. In a quadrilateral, if each pair of opposite sides are equal, so then it is parallelogram. That means it's a vice versa condition. That is, when the opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal, so that means, if each pair of opposite sides of a quadrilateral, whatever the quadrilateral we have, so then it must be a parallelogram. That one we have to prove here. So let us take the theorem 8.3. Take the statement of this theorem 8.3, that is, if each pair of opposite sides of a quadrilateral is equal, then it is a parallelogram. That is, if each pair of opposite sides of a quadrilateral are equal, then it is a parallelogram. Yes. So here it is given that in this quadrilateral, we don't know whether it is parallelogram or not. We don't know. But here it is a quadrilateral. Here it has 4 sides and 4 angles. We can draw for 2 diagonals. It is possible here. So here it's a quadrilateral, and it is given that the opposite sides are equal. Here. So let us take what are the given things. Firstly we have to write the given things. After that what we have to prove, whatever the construction is needed, then we have to go to the proof. So firstly given. What are the given things here? Opposite sides are equal. So here firstly ABCD is a quadrilateral. ABCD is quadrilateral. ABCD is quadrilateral, then opposite sides are equal, that is AB is equal to CD, AB is equal to CD and AD is equal to BC. AD is equal to BC. I will consider this as equation number 1 and equation number 2. Okay, so then what we have to prove here? To prove that is ABCD is a parallelogram. That is ABCD is a parallelogram. For that we have to prove that AB is parallel to CD and AD is parallel to BC. That is because we know that in parallelogram the opposite sides are equal as well as parallel. So we know that it is equal. But when we prove that those two are parallel, so we can easily take that ABCD is a parallelogram. So then, yes. So here we want some of the construction because only from the diagram we can't prove these things. Okay, so here we want at least two triangles, at least some of the lines and some of the angles. So here we need that one. Only from these things we can't prove that one. So here just observe here AB and CD is there and AD and BC is there. AB and CD and AD and BC. So here it is some of the equalities are there. From those equalities, so we have to prove AB is parallel to CD. So when we prove that AB is parallel to CD, so that firstly we have to take any diagonal. From that we have to take some of the alternate interior angles. When we have the alternate interior angles, so then we can consider some of the parallel lines. Otherwise we can't consider directly. We can take it as AB is parallel to CD and like that. For that, firstly we have to take a diagonal here. Then after that we have to take those two triangles are congruent. After that only we have to take some of the CPCTs are equal. Directly we can't take those two are the alternate interior angles because it is unknown that AB is not parallel to CD and likewise. So here we need a diagonal. What are the possible diagonals? So here we have to know about what are the given terms. AB is equal to CD. AB is equal to CD. Here AB is there, here CD is there. So that means we have to bifurcate AB and CD into the different triangles. Okay, so that's why we have to take any diagonal. So whatever may be, BD is also possible and AC is also possible. Let us draw AC. Here it is. I will draw AC diagonal here. Okay. So in construction, so draw AC or join AC. You can write anything. Yes. Then we have to prove. I will consider those two triangles ADC and ABC. So consider triangle ABC and triangle ADC. Triangle ABC and triangle ADC. So in that we have AB is equal to CD. That is AB is equal to CD because it is given. Yes. Then also AD is equal to BC. AD is equal to BC. So these are the corresponding sides. That is AD is equal to BC. This is also given thing. And then here for both two triangles there is one common side is there, that is AC. AC is equal to AC. These two are common side. Yes. So here it's a side. Three are the sides are there. Three sides equality are there. That's why we have to consider from SSS congruence rule these two triangles are one and the same, one and the congruent. That is from SSS congruence rule. So we have triangle ABC congruent to triangle ADC. Triangle ADC. So we have these things. So after taking these things, so then we have to consider, we have to take alternate interior angles, or what are the corresponding parts of congruent triangles is possible. So we have to take all the things. Yes. So here, what are the things are there? Apart from that, we want some of the things. So we have to take those things here. So what are the things possible here? So here we have to consider some of the alternate interior angles. What are the alternate interior angles possible here? So when we consider this as a transversal, AC as a transversal, here it becomes ACD and CAB. Those two are equal. It becomes a CPCT for those two triangles. Also, when we take that one, it becomes the alternate interior angles when AB and CD are parallel and AC is a transversal. Yes, so that's why we have to take those things. That is, this implies angle ACD is equal to angle CAB, because it's a CPCT and alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles, angle also. Then another possibility it is here, and angle ACB. Angle ACB is equal to angle DAC. So when it is possible, it turns into, it is one of the CPCT. Also, it's an alternate interior angle possible when AD is parallel to BC and AC is a transversal. That is angle DCA or AC, or here angle ACB. Angle ACB is equal to angle DAC. Angle DAC itself, because CPCT as well as it is alternate interior angle. Okay, so here alternate interior angle is possible when AB is parallel to CD. AB is parallel to CD, AC is transversal. Yes. Then here it is alternating interior angle possible when AD is parallel to BC. That is, AD is parallel to BC and AC is transversal. So that's why we have AB is parallel to BC, CD, and AD is parallel to BC. So this implies AB is parallel to CD and AD is parallel to BC. So this implies ABCD is a parallelogram. ABCD is a parallelogram. Here we prove our required things. So here we have to know about, we have to take any two triangles and we have to construct a diagonal. After that we have to take two triangles. So when we consider those two triangles as congruent, we have to take the CPCTs. From the CPCTs we have to take the other assumptions. So then we have to take the required things. So this is about the theorem 8.3. It's also the property, one of the property of the quadrilateral or as well as parallelogram. So let us move on to the next. Likewise, theorem 8.2, that is the opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal, or in a parallelogram opposite sides are equal, both are same. So here it is also about angles, that is in a parallelogram opposite angles are equal. So this is the one of the theorem, that is theorem 8.4. it is, there is no need of proof in this case because it's a property. It's a property of parallelogram. We can prove with the what are the things we have. So in a parallelogram means there must be a parallel lines are there and a transversal are there. From the help of that one we can easily prove that one. So you can prove also But here there is no need of that proof, because in your syllabus there is no any mention about proof. So you can prove also. Okay, so let us take the statement of that one. In a parallelogram, opposite angles are equal. Opposite angles are equal. Opposite angles are equal here. So in a parallelogram, opposite angles are equal here. So here it is a parallelogram. Consider ABCD is a parallelogram. Consider ABCD is a parallelogram. So you can take any other. So PQRs you can take, XYZ you can take, no problem. Here I am considering ABCD only. So here ABCD is a parallelogram. So in that, angle A is equal to angle C, angle B is equal to angle D. I already mentioned you that. So that is, so when you consider the complete angle, here it is a complete angle, B means it's a complete angle. So we are touching this line from this adjacent side, this side to this side. That means it's a complete angle means, so then only we have to take angle A, angle C, angle B, angle D. But if it is bifurcated or if it is splits into two parts, three parts, then we can't take that one. So here only we have to take those things. So here these two are opposite sides are the opposite angles are equal here, and these two opposite angles are equal in a parallelogram. That is, consider ABCD is a parallelogram. Here angle A is equal to angle C and angle B is equal to angle D here. So likewise, theorem 8.2, the theorem 8.3 is the converse of that one. Here theorem 8.4 is there. In a parallelogram, opposite angles are equal. So we have to prove by taking theorem 8.5 as the converse of this theorem 8.4. That is, it's a completely vice versa condition. That is, if each pair of opposite angles of a quadrilateral is equal, then it is a parallelogram. So then that one we have to prove here. So let us take the theorem 8. So let us we have to take about that theorem 8.5, that is converse of theorem 8.4. So if in a quadrilateral each pair of opposite angles are equal, then it's a parallelogram. It is, if in a quadrilateral each pair of opposite angles are equal, then it is a parallelogram. Yes. So here we have to prove these things. Here just observe, here opposite angles are equal. It is given that opposite angles are equal. So when we consider the angles, so here in the parallelogram, especially in the parallelogram, so each pair of opposite angles are equal. Also adjacent angles are supplementary, we know that one. So from the known things, so we have to prove that adjacent angles are supplementary means, so we can consider it as a parallelogram. So that's why, so from the given things we have to use given things and then we have to prove this theorem. So let us take the given things. What are the given things here? Given that is, so in a parallelogram, that is, here we have a quadrilateral, that is ABCD is a quadrilateral. ABCD is a quadrilateral. In that, what are the equalities are there? Angle A is equal to angle C, Angle A is equal to angle C, and then angle B is equal to angle D. Angle B is equal to angle D we have. So what we have to prove here? So we have to prove ABCD is a parallelogram. That is to prove ABCD is a parallelogram. ABCD is a parallelogram we have to prove. So here we have A is equal to C and B is equal to D. So here we can take a diagonal. We have to prove that both the triangles are congruent. It's a very lengthy method, but here we have to prove very easily. So by taking the angle sum property, we know that angle sum property, the interior angles of a quadrilateral, any quadrilateral is 360 degree. Let us take that one, substitute all these things and try to get the adjacent angles is supplementary. Then we can easily consider it as a ABCD is a parallelogram. So let us take the proof. From angle sum property of quadrilateral. Yes, here it is mixed here, so no problem. Yes, from angle sum property of quadrilateral. So here angle A plus angle B plus angle C plus angle D is equal to 360 degree. That is the sum of interior angles of a quadrilateral is 360 degree we have. So from that we can easily find out our required thing. So A plus B plus C plus D is equal to 360 degree. So here A is equal to B, B is equal to D. So that means here in place of C we can insert A also. In place of angle D we can insert angle B also. So that's why we have to change as per our given things. So here it's equation 1 and here it is equation 2, or both may be considered as equation 1 only, no problem. Here angle A plus angle B plus in place of angle C we can insert angle A, and in place of D we can insert angle B. So is equal to 360 degree, because from equation 1 and equation 2. Then angle A plus angle A. So we can write 2 into angle A plus angle B plus angle B, that is 2 into angle B is equal to 360 degree, and I will take out 2 from both these things, and angle A plus angle B. Inside the bracket we have angle A plus angle B is equal to 360 degree, that is angle A plus angle B. Here I will transpose this 2 to the RHS side, comes to the denominator. 360 divided by 2 is equal to angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 degree. This implies adjacent angles are supplementary. This implies adjacent angles are supplementary. Therefore ABCD is a parallelogram. ABCD is a parallelogram we have here. So from the given things, from the known things, so here we use only angle sum property. There is no any triangles here, there is no any alternate interior angles here, there is no any opposite sides here. So from the angle sum property only we proved this one. So for that we have to know all the properties of parallelogram, rhombus, rectangle, square correctly. Then only we have to prove these things. Yes. So I hope you understood these things. So let us take one homework. Take one homework here. That is, show that each angle of a rectangle is a right angle. We already know that one. So each angle of a rectangle is right angle. So construct a right angle. So construct a rectangle here. After that, there is a two methods. That is, so we already know that all the angles of a rectangle are equal. So from the angle sum property, insert all the angles are equal. So all the angles we have to convert into only, we have to express in form of only one angle. So after that we have the required thing. Another one possibility is there. So there we have a pair of parallel lines, and then consider one side as another one side as another one adjacent side. It's common for both the parallel lines. Consider it as a transversal. The sum of the interior angles on the same side of the transversal is supplementary. We have from that one also we can find out these problems. So I hope you understood this one. So here I will conclude this part, only this part. So those who are watching this video for the first time, please subscribe our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon so you can get the notification very easily, and also hit the like button. Keep supporting us. Thank you one and all. Be safe and stay home. Thank you.